about being judged is also an expectation of stereotype. It could also be, right? Or it could be an expectation of role or responsibility or race or gender. So, Puan Izzat, dekat Petronas, how do you deal with expectation when it comes to stereotype? Macam, this is the way you need to dress, or this is the way you need to do your hair. You don't wear proper lipstick to the office. You don't color your hair. I know. So I'm blessed to be in an environment where it's okay to express myself in how I look. But is it the same dekat Petronas?
Okay, Petronas, like any other organization, we have our code of conduct, we have the do's and the don'ts, the guidelines as an employee, you know. Dia kita masuk di Petronas, dia bagi you employee handbook. So we are actually guided by that, you know. But then again, at the same time, kita juga ada pertukaran ikut peredaran zaman, basically. You know, color your hair red is your choice, yeah. We do see blonde people around, it's okay, to as long as you do not do cross kind of because we have a guideline. So in answering you, we have guidelines. So employees have guidelines and the code of conduct. So yeah, so to as long as you code and you do not deviate too much around from that, then I think you are fine.
Yeah, I think it's very important for people to understand that it's all about respect. There are certain reasons why guidelines are there, and it works for certain organizations because of how it brands themselves, right? So that's you can't expect me to look like this in Petronas because it doesn't represent the brand. So we have to always be conscious not to be rebellious. Tak terlepas salah kan?
Yeah. Okay, give you an example. Friday, like today, is more flexible. I see younger generation now. Do you notice lelaki banyak pakai batik in Indonesia? You notice that? My comment is, pakai batik is okay. Many years ago, when Petronas worked on Saturday, I saw men wearing baju batik. But I like it then because the baju batik they wore was from Terengganu, made in Malaysia. So I told my team, you know guys, you can wear batik, but my request is for you to wear batik made in Malaysia. So example lah. And today is Friday, ladies flexible, we can wear semi-casual, but you know, in case you have a meeting with some outsiders, you can wear a jacket over it. And for me, I wear my t-shirt. So flexible Friday.
Dengan bangganya kan?
Dengan
bangganya. Nice shirt. It is a very nice shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Jamal, in Google, the thing about it is a creative space, right? So I think in terms of exploring or showing off your personality in terms of how you look, it's kind of acceptable. Yes?
So, yes and no.
Oh, yes and no.
So I'll share with you my experience when I first joined Google. When I joined Google, I thought obviously you can wear anything you want, be casual and things like that. Obviously, the company embraces that. So when I joined Google, I put aside all my dresses and things like that. I was only wearing jeans and t-shirts, okay? And my jean is always the same. My t-shirt changed in color, the pattern is the same. Okay? So yeah, that's how I dress because I feel comfortable. Okay, that's what I do. And one day, someone approached me and said, Jawan, every day I see you in the same clothes, all the time. Okay? A comment was being made in Google, right? And I was like, okay. And what I did was, I actually went back, I actually thought about it. I was like, okay, is it something, should I be dressing more appropriately? Should I change the way that I dress? Then I went back, I actually calibrated. What I thought myself was that when I'm not meeting clients and things like that, I have every right that I want to dress how I want. But I really appreciate what the person say as well. Always be open, listen to what other people are saying because it is very important because that also reminded me that, hey, well, Google is like this. I need to respect other clients as well. Let's say I go to a bank, right? I would wear something more proper to respect the situation, the environment. So instead of me being like angry, like, wow, why this person judge me and things like that, I actually thought that it's a very good reminder, right? And try to always think of it that way, yeah? And don't always be defensive, right? And try to find a piece of what you think is right, what you think is wrong. Yeah.
It's really good that you had someone to approach you to remind you of that. And most of the time we get defensive macam, ikut suka aku lah, aku nak pakai baju ni, it's my right lah, bos tak cakap apa-apa pun. But I think it's really good that you are open enough for people to come and approach you. And I think to support other women or to support each other, it's very important for us to also be open to remind one another when it comes to if ada mistake ke, boleh tegur. Tapi cara tegur tu penting because niat tu kena betul. If I niat to make you better, cara I cakap dengan you pun lain. Tapi kalau niat I nak menjatuhkan you, cara I cakap dengan you pun lain lah kan?
I think that's very important. But I also think that like sometimes people may not come across. You may feel that the person's attacking you, but try to always put your position in that person. Always think the best of the other person. Why would someday the person want to tell you this? There must be something that triggered, right? Then try to internalize. Don't be defensive. I think it's very important. Yeah.
It's really good. Speaking of friends, right? In the office you spend like 8 hours minimum a day. Sometimes here, I think especially Anusha, dia kerja production, I think 24 hours pun, 48 hours pun.
I racked up my OT,
OT.
maximum every
Dia tak ada OT. Yeah, exactly, right? So you spend a lot more time here looking at your colleagues and working with them more than you see your father or even your friends, right? Even me sometimes. So how do you navigate the relationship between being colleagues, peers, boss, friends, supervisor in a workplace? Because sometimes the line gets very blurry.
For me, it's very simple. You respect everybody anyway. Right? When you do that, it comes back to you. Doesn't matter whether you're the boss or you're the cleaner. There's nothing wrong in saying hi in the lift. How are you? That's what I learned from the US, which like I was like, oh, okay. Everybody you meet, you go into the room or in a lift, how's your day? Good. That's the first thing we do. Look down, right? Why can't we do the same? Sometimes that question will uplift someone's spirit, right? How am I today? The famous phrase is, how's it going? How's it going? Good. Okay. And once you put that respect out in one, it will come back to you. And we are all the same. Our goals are different, but we're built the same. We have the same kind of emotions. So what's different from you and everybody else? The best way is just to respect everybody. Yeah.
Betul, Puan Lisa? I'm sure you've made a lot of friends, a lot of relationships when it comes to being there for quite a while. So how do you navigate that? Especially you dah grow through the ranks kan, and then some people maybe take a bit longer. So they are still at a point where, maybe hierarchy, I tak nak cakap dengan Puan Lisa sangat lah sebab sekarang dia dah boss.
Actually, in Petronas, the minute I'm sure it's the same with other organizations. The minute you enter the organization, you'll be called for induction program. So that's your first touch point with your colleagues. So you nurture that relationship from that particular network. Then you go back, you balik to office. I think I think my time earlier on was about 2 weeks for induction. Then later on it gets shorter and shorter lah for many reasons. One of them is actually kerja banyak ke office, these new people need to come immediately to the workforce. So when you masuk to the new departments, you get to know a lot of people, because knowing a lot of people will also help you. You help the environment, you help to make a harmonious relationship, because I agree with you, it's actually a give and take. If you want people to be nice to you, you have to start being nice to them first. So you need to make that first move. And I believe it's our choice to make that move. And I agree with Anusha, in US, in fact, overseas people are friendlier. But I believe Malaysians are going towards that right direction too. Even, but you ask yourself, I think the first move is actually kita. Kita kena make that move. Yeah.
Jawan, because I think in Google sama dengan dia prima, it's the younger generation kan, and people always say that ni Gen Y ni millennials ni dia strawberry generation, tak boleh kena tegur. So can you imagine if you already have some sort of a friendship relationship with your colleague or your boss, and then you tegur orang tu, but orang tu terasa. So how do you navigate macam still jaga hati orang tu buat, because you still need to make that person work, right? So how do you?
So I can share with you another experience. How do I navigate this blur line? So it's always down back to you being a person. What's your intention? So what I really, really value a lot is that every person that I meet or every person that I work with, it doesn't limit to that. Okay, it's more of the longer term relationship, the friendship that I want to build, regardless this person goes where. So that's the most basic thing that I want to build. Okay, people, my team, that's the most important value for me. I want to build a relationship with you in a long term. So I'm not building a relationship just a working relationship. So I will do above and beyond. Now, how do I actually manage between the friendship relationship as well as the manager relationship? So for me as a manager, what I do differently is actually I help when help is needed. Okay, when there's like situation, when there's like things that need to be decided, I will step up and I try to manage it. So for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say in a friendship relationship, the person, okay, will say that, oh yeah, let's say I want to spend more time working from home. Okay, as a friend, yeah, I think it's very important for you to have this flexibility and things like that. Okay, very, very important. Now as a manager, I wear a different hat. There's two things I need to decide on. When this person wants to work from home, is this person a top performer? Or this person need more coaching? Okay, do I need to guide her? Meaning that, is there flexibility I can give? Or I can't? So I wear that hat. And at work environment, I will always, when this sort of things happen and when I'm in dispute, I will always wear the manager hat. If this person need to come in at work more often to catch up at work, I will suggest that, hey, please come in and work more often because of this. Be very objective, okay? Very, very objective, give specific example, and usually work. Because it's actually a very, very good balance where the person know that you have the person back, but at the same time, you're also trying to help the person progress within the workspace. So it's a two, I don't know whether does it make sense, but that's how I actually navigate. I'm a friends first, a manager second. But when there's a manager decision that needs to be made, manager always supersede the friend because I'm hired to do the job. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very important for us to also, again, be very conscious about why you need to make the decision and who would it affect. Because if you just puaskan hati seorang, I mean the rest of the team is gonna get the consequences lah, betul? So okay, the thing is, I remember my first job, right? My first job was 10-15 years ago. I had my first boss, which is a male. My first experience with him, in terms of management, was if let's say you buat salah depan klien ke, behind closed door ke, dia akan menjerit. Kau ni bodoh ke? And you just don't know how to act, right? But I'm not so sure now whether or not there are managers or leaders who are as snappy as that. But I'm sure now it's more with sarcasm or you emails ke apa kan. So how do you, like for men, right, or even women, how do we, or what kind of support do we need from them in terms of how they treat us for us to grow? So cara menjerit, I rasa tak perlu lakutkan cara dia. So Joy,
I've seen firsthand, okay, within Google itself. I can tell you this, just be very honest and very transparent. I've seen firsthand raised voices, not in a very, very nice way. Two things that need to happen. Number one, the people in the room need to call that out, okay? If you saw that in action, call that out. And call that out and say this is the wrong thing, you shouldn't be shouting. Call that out. We need the peer support to do it. Now, a lot of times in that situation, all of us don't know how to react. I was like, what the hell? What just happened? When you go back, okay, you don't feel good about it, the next day, bring it out to the person. All of us has responsibility to do our part in that situation. Now, when it's a one-on-one, just you and the person, for you to actually receive that, it is not right, number one. It's never okay. Never tell yourself that it's okay. Just because he's my boss, she's my boss. It is not okay. Now, I'll tell you why. Always think about, you're not retaliating. You're not basically telling the person about his bad behavior or her bad behavior only. You also want the person to grow as a person, okay? So position it that way that, hey, I think how you spoke to me, I was a bit affected, you know, I would really appreciate if you can do this in the other way. And the reason why I say this is because I think both of us should grow together as a person. How can we actually work better together? So I will approach it that way. Yeah.
Thank you. Anusha, being in production, it's all men around, right? So if you could say one thing to them to make them treat you better, what would you want from them? How would you want them to treat you better? But yeah.
It's just to reverse the roles, put a mirror. They're shouting at themselves. Because I've seen it. Your first reaction, my first reaction inside my heart is to punch him in the face. It's true, because we're only human, right? But I don't want somebody to punch me back in the face. So, I think it's just literally there. I've seen it, and trust me, I've cried a gazillion times. And it's not wrong to cry. I now realize that it's not wrong to cry. Then, you go to the toilet, and somebody comes in, what's wrong with you? And they console you. And afterward, you realize, okay, I cried, I'm done, move on. It's a release, it's a way to release your emotions. If you keep it up, one day I will really punch somebody, But yeah, I think it's just management, it's how we manage a situation, yeah.
Waliza, dekat sana, your peers are mostly men ke women?
My peers,
Uh-uh.
in my outfit, there are more female than male.
Wow!
Yeah.
That's all about outfit, that's really
I guess the example yang you bagi ni macam that kind of bosses zaman-zaman dulu lah banyak. True, I witnessed at one time my next door division, we could hear the boys yell and threw files on the floor. That was when I was in Daya Bumi. But now at Twin Towers, dah jarang dah tak dengar dah. The relationship now between superior and subordinates are more harmonious. You know why? Because we also introduced the 360 degrees feedback. We have weekly meeting. We have one-on-one session, half yearly. Then you have this, orang kata, conversation more with your subordinate and superior. Jadi, I don't think it's so rampant like when we were in Daya Bumi those days. And we have millennials in our organization. I think about more than 50% now of the organization is less than 35 years of age. So we need to behave differently. So I also witnessed that bosses yang you describe tadi tu dah very few. Kalau ada pun, we can name them who they are now. Okay? So we are actually improving. I like to believe other companies are also improving.
That's very good, right? Because people always say, millennials are like that, and you should treat millennials that way. But it shouldn't be that way. I mean, it again is respect, right? We change.
Okay. The other thing is, I mentioned more than 50%. The other are actually like my age. The millennials are actually like our children at home. So you give the environment to the... Rafi is my living example that he is actually a millennial. He worked with me under my office. There are days, that bukan irony, it's just that we need to be firm, things need to be delivered. But other than that, we are friends. We have lunch together, we have coffee together. He accompanied me today.
Yes, he did. Thank you very much for coming, Rafi. So it's really good to see that walaupun kita dibesarkan, like for me, like I've seen all of that growing into my level in career, right? And I like the fact that we don't apply the same treatment we had to our team or to our peers or our colleagues. And I think we should all learn from that. Apa yang kita suka kepada kita jangan buat ke orang lain. So thank you so much for that really personal sharing. Okay, the last part of this section would be, Waliza, at any point in time, masa you kat sana, because you've been there for 30 years, kan, you dah feel, at any point you rasa macam, oh my god, I just don't want to do this anymore, I just don't want to see this office anymore.
Okay, I give you a bit of, Rafi, maybe you want to, I started my career, actually my background is actually finance. When Petronas sponsored me, my major was actually finance. I came back, remember, I didn't want to come back, I came back, I couldn't join. They called me back, I was about to get my first bonus, buat calculation, actually I nak kahwin juga masa tahun tu. So, calculation nak kahwin duduk KL, we kind of fought that. So, okay, Petronas give me a higher wage. All the tick to join Petronas is actually a lot more than I was staying in KUBB. So I decided to join Petronas, but I negotiated with HR. I said, look, I came back, I asked for, you said I was released. And you told me I did not sign the contract for me to be released, then I have to come back. But I was about to get my first bonus. Can I get my bonus first? And I joined Petronas. So instead of joining 1st of Jan, I joined Petronas 1st of March 1988. 9th of April, I kahwin. So, bila I masuk Petronas, the opening was given to me was in corporate affairs, public affairs where I am now. But because of certain thing, I told HR, problem lah juga, orang suruh masuk lambat, dan bagi division ni pergi minta division lain, mengada lah masa tu kan. But I was in a position to negotiate, so the power of negotiation, okay? So they told me, okay, you can stay here, you don't want to go there, you can work with us in HR. So I landed my experience 2 years in HR. I was doing recruitment for non-executive and I did training for the executive the following year. While I was there, I was discovered by one senior. He said that actually this girl, when she was in KUBV, she was doing treasury work. So there was an opening in Treasury of Petronas. So I was called to join Treasury of Petronas for 12 years. And I thought for 12 years in Treasury of Petronas, working with all the bankers in Malaysia, powerful. And I thought I ended my career, I retired in Petronas. Being a Petronas scholar, you are bonded for 10 years. After 10 years, anak ada dua, do you think you nak join another organisation? Actually, I was pretty comfortable where I was. So, being in the limelight, they're dealing with the bankers, what, investment, it's all, interesting lah, you buat investment in money market, you fix income, you do bonds and things like that. So that's what I said, I thought I could ended my career in Treasury. But fate has it that I was called to join corporate finance. I thought the people in Treasury did not like me. But in actual fact, I was identified to join, to take additional risk, to join, to be out of my comfort zone. I was already comfortable in Treasury. So now you ask yourself, if you are far too long in one place, you're getting comfortable, that's where you need to move. So that's my advice to you. So when I was, and I had negative thought, and I thought, these people do not like me, I nak retire kat sini, dia tak suka, kenapa pergi ke corporate finance? Not knowing, the boss at corporate finance saw my capability which I did not see. At Treasury, I was taking care of Petronas' asset, all the money, what investment. You come back with a certain return. But at corporate finance, you are actually taking care of the liability side of the company. Meaning to say, you're given the challenge to find money for the company in financing our project. So this is actually very interesting. It pushed the boundaries in me to be, thinking differently, behave differently. I was there for 8 years. I learned about corporate structure, financing, equity financing, IPO, listing, shareholders financing, project financing. It gave me a different perspective. Remember tadi I thought I was not liked, people pushed me. But in actual fact, I was given a new exposure. And after that, the president then was Tan Sri Hassan Merican. He said, okay, we're going to be staging World Gas Conference in 2012. So I need someone to form a team, and I was identified to head the committee, and I had to open a company for this special purpose vehicle to stage World Gas. Not knowing yang sebenarnya the exposure that I had in Treasury allowed me to help Petronas have this special purpose vehicle. I work with Ministry of Finance to get the tax exempt status. So I applied what I learned in corporate finance. So now, if you are given exposure, different exposure, take it as a challenge because it gives you the wellness, the wealth of wellness juga kesihatan, the wealth of knowledge, experience for you to be better than what you were before. And I was made the CEO of the company. So that was the beginning of me in a higher position. So I started as executive, became a manager, became a senior manager, then become a CEO of the company, and Petronas wanted me to help stage OTC Asia pula lepas tu. Then I was asked to come back to Petronas. I'm the senior general manager now. I'm also the chairman of the company that I set up. So when you're given the opportunity, grab it.
Oh my god! Oh, that's such an amazing and inspiring story. It's really crazy lah. I think one takeaway from that is you are never ready, right? So unless you take the jump, baru you tahu macam actually I can actually do this, right?
Yeah.
So,
I give you my experience when, I was already, as I repeat this again, once you are comfortable at one place, that's the time for you to change. Bin, tadi I kata dengan you, how many years in Treasury, then corporate finance came. How many years as CEO of WGC, the name changed to ISEP, then was called back to head group strategic communication, something that I know nuts about. But when people ask you to come back, they are actually seeing you having that potential. And to me, the products are actually different. But the real thing is actually, leadership is the same. It's applicable to everywhere. You started your leadership, mother kat rumah, kat office, jadi boss. It's the same thing more or less. The product is actually different. Okay, so those are, if you remember, hari ni I cakap, remember too. First of all, I would like to invite you to have a purpose in life. Have a purpose. Why are you going to the office every day? What drives you? That you wake up early in the morning, sampai petang, you balik. What drives that? You need to identify that. Only then, the rest will be easy for you. For ladies, banyak ladies kat sini. I sama dengan you. Apa yang you lalui, I dah lalui. Majority of us dah laluinya. Okay? Kalau you dah kahwin, dah ada anak, you must settle home first. The home too will give you the peace of mind to do your work at the office. I have 3 children. I have 3 grandchildren. Okay, that's what I'm sharing based on what I went through. You must have that purpose. When you have that purpose, that will make it easier for you. Life is a journey. I dah bagi macam conclusion. Apa nak? Life is a journey. You need to know your destination. It's like having a car, driving a car. You need to know where you want to stop, right? Where you're heading. So then you plan. Okay, that's the analogy.
niat tu penting.
Yeah.
Purpose niat. Jawan, you're in Google, right? Google is like one of the most fast-paced companies in the world. So how do you keep up to that pace? And at any point in time, do you feel that it's too fast for me, or oh my god, can I just pause that so that I can focus on this part of my job first? So how do you've been there for 5 years,
So it's very, very fast. Sometimes I also wonder why is it so fast. So I'll share with you a career progression where I actually took a stop for a while. I was an industry manager back, I think, 2 years ago, and my managing director was very persistent, saying that, hey, it's time for you to step up and become an industry head. Okay, you need to do it. And basically, he was telling me that you need to take this opportunity. He said that I can do it. I actually told him that I can't do it. I don't really want to do it. I'm very happy at my role because I feel that I found a good pace. I think I know what I'm doing. I want to stay there for another few more years before I decide that I want to take on a bigger role. And I can tell you that that conversation actually went on for 1 year, right? And I can tell you this, like a lot of times, like people say, take this opportunity, let's go. Okay. Now I have a devil advocate's thought to share with you. At that point in time, yes, I could have just like taken the road and go ahead with it. But internally, I just couldn't calibrate. I couldn't calibrate, do I want to take on more responsibility? I just couldn't. And I told my manager, like, I just can't calibrate because of this. I have reason to it. And I told him, obviously he was disappointed and things like that, but the conversation did not stop there. It is ongoing, okay? And then one day, and it's very important, this journey that I was calibrating, it took me like 9 months to calibrate, to find where I want to go. And one day, I actually told him, I sat down and I said that, I'm ready, let's go, okay? And he was like super happy. But at that point in time, when I said that I want to do it, I was all in. And that's very, very important. When you're all in, you go all in. So, while it is very important to jump on the opportunity, always remember to calibrate. It's very important that you feel that this is really, really what you want. And the manager role is to bring you to places that you never know that you can. Okay? their role is that even if the person keep on saying no, 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 his job or her job is to keep on guiding and helping. Okay, so always remember that. Always calibrate with yourself. That's the most important thing.
Thank you. Anusha, you do freelance, right? And the thing about freelance is you get to put money or a number to your worth. So how do you navigate macam, okay, I ada budget 10,000 and then you say actually my worth is not 10,000. Is that easy to say, or how do you measure yourself in terms of RM?
Personally, I would never feel comfortable with that. Because for me, I mean, I use my talent that's been given to me and monetize it now. But it's like, I think it's easier if like you represent me and you go and tell them how much is it, you know? I don't know how to value myself in terms of dollars and cents. That's why I was listening to Ponisa's story and I'm like, I wish I had that. I'm in a different place now, you know? But yeah, we're built very differently because of our upbringing, our surroundings, right? I guess if you grow up in CEO mentality from home, you start with that, your father, your mother, your uncles, aunties tell you this is how you should be living your life, you will become a CEO one day. Because that's how you have been trained. I didn't grow up like that, right? I grew up, my dad was a single parent, he's a musician, and I lived not hippie, but like, you know, a different life. Yeah, it was a very different life. So valuing myself, I had to learn as I went along. And in terms of now where I am, I still am not comfortable in putting a price to what I can do. But it's a very different industry, the creative industry and the corporate industry. There's a tariff, there's a rate card and all that. Creative, you also have that. But like for instance, I just finished City's tour.
Yes, you did.
Right? And how do you put a price to being creative director for this concert tour? There is no tariff card for that. I just literally had to see what they had a budget for and then, you know, try and negotiate a little bit here and there because I believe I'm worth more. That's how you find the balance. And I will go and do work for people or projects that I care about for free, not even ask for a single cent. But there are times where I will ask for more. And I will say no to some jobs because I believe that the effort and the time I'm going to spend, you know, is not worth it. But that's all because I've kind of learned who I am and know what I want. I have to pay for my bills and I want to go for holidays. So, you know, it's all based on what you want and what your purpose is. How close and how quick you want to get to your goals. Yeah.
Vanessa, there's this notion tau, dia kata kalau you nak buat gaji cepat dan banyak, jump jobs. So there is a perception also that if you were to stay in one job for a long time, you will not get paid as much as if you were to jump ship. Betul ke?
I don't think so. This is my personal view. I think you must have that breadth of knowledge. Your content must be there first in order for you to demand. That's my personal view. Yeah, like for us, we are quite fortunate. Macam tadi I pergi sini, I pergi HR, I pergi treasury, I pergi comms now. Because we are so fortunate, we are an integrated company. So basically, as I mentioned, the exposure given to me because Petronas happen to be an integrated company. We can be in downstream, we can be upstream, we can be in corporate, you know. So now you got to ask yourself. I think as a person, we must have, as I mentioned earlier, you have the purpose, you have your plan. You know, if you decide to be in the organization, how many exposure that you can move around. You know, in order for you to be experienced person, you need to be exposed to all areas, not just unless you choose to be in a specific or rather professional progression in that line, so that you can stay in that particular area longer. But if you have you want to have wealth of experience, you need to chart your journey. which department you can go now, where's next and whatnot. So you become an all-rounded person of the organization. And when you are well-rounded, then you can demand differently. Because people will say, oh yes, this person can be this because they are exposed kat sini, dah ada banyak experience. You know, people will look at your worthiness based on the wealth of experience that you have gained. And then you can start demanding.
Or the things that we can immediately apply now in the situation that you are in right now in terms of your career ke apa. So now we're gonna go more towards the self punya part. Yes. So the question is, do you have a life path? Because tadi kata you kena chart your own growth, right? But how does it intertwine dengan your own life? Because macam you already know that okay, I'm going to get married, so I'm going to decide my my job based on I'm going to get married, and then I have kids along the way, and now you're at this position dengan ada grandchildren. So did you at one point dah tahu kan? I see that line that I need to take.
To be honest, like most of us here, in the beginning, muda-muda dulu, I don't have that clear path. You know, tak adalah macam, oh, by the age of ni, I mesti kahwin, by the age of ni, I mesti berapa anak. I did not chart my journey that way. It kind of macam just go with the flow. But somehow or other, when you have already settled down quite nicely, you must talk. Kalau you dah kahwin, the conversation with the husband must happen. The understanding one another must be there at the first place before you can excel in your career. This is actually my advice to those yang berfamily, that abang dah kahwin dan wanted to start a family. That conversation must have happened first, because you must have that peace of mind when you want to accelerate your career at the office. I'm quite fortunate the fact that my husband gave me maids at one time. So ada 2 maids to take care of my children. You know, after anak I dah besar, and then we said, okay, maybe we have another one. So we have the younger one who is not so young anymore. He's actually 24. So then I start chatting, and I said, okay, if 3 is it now, then my husband helped me with my career juga. So it's actually the conversation must happen with your partner. Dulu having maid is actually senang lah, peace of mind. You need to pick the right maid, especially now maid is actually an issue, kan? So you can weigh whether you gonna send your children to your parents. Tapi at this age, takkan you nak bother your parents taking care of your kids. Maybe you send the kids to the daycare center. But this thing needs to settle. For ladies who are actually career-minded, this thing kena settle. You must know, you must plan. What will happen if this other happen, you nak hantar kat mana, what not, that settle, then you can answer. Otherwise, you're gonna be distracted. Yeah, this is true experience. Yeah, so those are actually my advice lah. You must sort out issue kat rumah, then you have that clear, then you have a plan. But in the beginning, I didn't have a plan.
But soalan dia also comes to this macam, do you have mom guilt sebab you kerja kan? But the thing you said, which is true, I dah settle semua benda kat rumah. I not guilty because I've done that. They are taken care of. So I can take my time to take care of myself also.
Okay, I think I shared. We post one of the article. I was invited to be in Majalah Nona a few years back. Masa buat work guest. They questioned me the same thing. To me, the quality of time spent with the children is more important, not the quantity. If you have many time spent but you don't have, the outcome is not enriching to the children, there's no point. Sometimes in that article I shared that it was just doing groceries with the children, but the fact that children help me pilih barang is actually buying things, you know, with the children, make it enjoyable. The quality of time spent with the children is more important than the quality of time. So in answering you, there are moments that I have mom's guilt, but I think it's compensated by the quality time that I spend with them. There's one experience I think I shared in the recent Nona yang keluar this month. If you want to read more about me, I keluar dalam Nona this month, June. I shared that at one time I felt guilty that I had to travel on the first day of Hari Raya. But I managed to negotiate and make sure I have the rendang with them, makan pagi, you know. Then I left. Those are the one of the example of the mom's guilt lah. But other than that, as mother, sebelum I pergi kerja, I make sure masa budak-budak kecil-kecil, what will be the menu that will be serving tonight. You know, I will call the maid at a certain time, keluarkan ikan, you know, do all this. I cook myself because I'm not a good cook. But at the back of my mind, whatever that goes to my children's mouth is actually nothing beats mom's cooking, whether it's good or bad, but it's actually the initiative that, you know, as a mom, you know, as a gift to the children. And when we eat at dinner time, that's when we catch up on our daily activities.
Yeah. Okay, we're running out of time, so I'm just gonna go straight to like juicy questions. So these juicy questions, I remember one time when I went to this leadership conference, one thing resonated with me where this guy asked the panelists, and so I'm like, what is your biggest mistake and regret in your career, and how you've overcome it? So the panelist, I think it was from Netflix, so he was in Google before that. So he said, I was in Google for 2 years before I took the leap to Netflix, I can't remember where. My biggest regret is leaving too soon. Leaving too soon to not see it grow, leaving too soon to not be able to see the amount of effort I put to result. So for you guys, all three of you, the question is, what was your biggest regret or mistake that you've done in your career, and how have you overcome it, and the kind of advice that you can tell the audience like not to do or to do? So maybe, Anisha,
It's simple for me. I don't have any regrets, none whatsoever, and I am very happy to say that now, because every mistake that was made led me to where I am today, and I think emotionally I'm in my best place. So nothing. You just have to approach it like a learning curve, like in school. The teacher tell you salah, kena rotan. That's exactly what it is, and then just move on.
because it's meant to be, right?
It's meant to be. Everything in your life is meant to happen for you. Good or bad, is how we take it and how long we want to get out of it if it's a bad, you know? Because it's an emotional state for women especially. It can be, I think it can be a chemical reaction as well when you're emotional. When it's like, when there's a mistake, you say, okay, there is a mistake. Do I want to spend 1 day thinking about this mistake? 2 days, 3 days, 5 years, 20 years? It's up to you. That's a choice you make. Because remember, the longer it is, the deeper the ditch that you're diving into, which means the harder the climb to come out of it, right? But you got to realize what has happened, accept it, and move on. Yeah, because moving forward is the only way to go. Yeah, they're not where they are because they. Yeah, she needed some time to think about whether she wanted to move forward. But she did.
Yeah.
So it's how long you take to get it there. Because we can delve in self-pity, oh, I don't want, I don't like, everything is don't. But if you start saying, okay, maybe, I read a book by Shonda Rhimes, it's the year of yes, and I did that 1 year. Everything somebody asked me, I said yes, of course, with some, careful thought. But yes, say yes. I said yes to this. I would have never said yes to this in last year. But yeah, just say yes, or I can think about it, consider it, then you move forward.
Yeah.
So for me, I make a lot of mistakes in my life, but I have no regrets. Zero regrets, I can tell you this. I make a lot of mistakes along my career, many mistakes, but I've never regretted. I think by now you should know that I always recalibrate to myself. It's super important to always have a conversation with yourself. When you have a good conversation with yourself, it can be 1 day, it can be 1 year, it can be 2 years, okay, on a specific subject. But when you have a good conversation with yourself, you will know that the decision that you make is something that you will not regret. So I always urge people and tell people that take your time, okay? You don't need to rush. You have nobody to prove, okay, but yourself. So when you do that, things is much better. You will not have regrets.
Anissa?
For me, I guess the example that I gave you that, I was 12 years in Treasury, I think the mistake was being comfortable there far too long. And the mistake was also perception of people do not like me in Treasury. The fact that, I agree with Anusha that, it's actually everything happened for a reason, and Allah is so great, He knows best. He will give you nothing but the best. Had I not take that deep faith of Ni, I wouldn't be where I am today. So that's the positive side of it. And I must share with you, in your journey, there are times that you are feeling afraid. Don't worry about it. Being afraid is actually good. When I was asked by the president of Petronas to come back and to be the head of strategic communication, I got stunned. I called out my husband. I said, I need to talk to you immediately. He has always been my punching bag, he has been my partner and whatnot. I drove back and I cried all the way back after the news was brought to me, by the president. And I was thinking, what if I fail? Because I know nuts about communication, but I'm learning, And then he asked me this. He said, what would be your purpose of you coming back, of you, at the new place? And when that purpose is actually very clear, crystal clear, you're going to write it. And the fact that anything that you do, tempat baru, you must unlearn and relearn in order for you to be better. So if you remember at all apa yang cakap, anything ingat, purpose, tempat baru, unlearn yang lama, relearn benda yang baru. And always to have positive mindset. The key takeaways from this I want to part to all of you, ada 3 benda. Satu is actually you must have enough sleep. Yeah? The amount of sleep, because this is peace of mind. The amount of sleep differs from individual to individual. Some people 8 hours, and then some people 5 hours, good sleep, deep sleep, you're better the next day. Number 2, you must have positive mindset. Yeah? And satu lagi, you must have a discipline. So 3 benda, insyaAllah you follow through and have a journey. Those Muslim, you must set your journey is actually to the afterworld. Then the rest will be easier for you. So that's my parting words for them.
I just have one thing to add, I think we all need to realize that change is inevitable. You cannot control that. It's going to come at you at every intersection of your life. But when that happens, that is an indication that you have outgrown yourself and it's time to move on. So when you come to a point in your life when you're like, this doesn't make sense anymore, I'm so uncomfortable, I cannot sleep, which means the universe, if you're a believer, spirituality, God is telling you, if you're not a believer, then the universe is telling you it's time to move on. Yeah, somewhere or other they're knocking on your door and saying, hello, wake up, and I look at it from a creative point of view. If we all apply this, and we all love movies, right? Everybody's watched the movie. We are producing our own movies, okay? And we are the main character in our movies, right? How do you want to see a movie? Yeah, you've got all the ups and downs, and that's part of life. But how do you want the end of the movie to be? That is your choice, huh? That every turn, that every door that you open and close is your choice. No need to jaga tepi kain orang. Tak payah. No need to go to someone else's movie and like, hey, what are you doing, huh? And sibuk. No need. It will come naturally, unless like How to Get Away with Murder and Scandal, there was a, there was a cross, yeah, Olivia Pope, and but that was intentional. Everything is intentional. So if you stick on your own main character's storyline, trust me, everybody's going to be a hero. Everybody will be a hero. No movie ends with the hero dying, but he's still a hero, right? And we're all going to die one day too. So, yeah. Look, if you look at it like that, I think it'll be easier to accept. Yeah.
Die a hero.
Yeah.
Die a hero.
Everybody wants to be a hero.
Okay, we have a bit more time for questions. So, ada some question kat Slido, tapi before we go to that, do you guys have any questions that you want to ask the panelists sendiri? Because it's from your own narration and your experience. So, I rasa lagi senang kalau you tanya so that you can be clear with your questions daripada Slido. Ada tak? G ada mic. So anyone ada question? Alhamdulillah nampak. Hai, tak nampak orang kat belakang. Ada ke soalan? Oh hi. G, mic? Ke nak guna mic I? Tak apa, guna mic I je.
Okay, hello. My name is Mira from the news department. Okay. Alright. Can I say that my biggest regret is by submitting my internship application to Media Prima in 2006 because it was actually a Saturday. I think it was I was lucky because the HR person suddenly was, I think Saturday HR doesn't work that day, right? And then I was very lucky that that HR person was there. Okay, so I was accepted in the Prima, and then I did my internship for 6 months, and then I was called for an interview as a staff in 2007. Okay, from that point, after that I learned my job so much, and then I don't know whether is that a mistake?
You love your job so much?
I love my job so much, and from I've been working with Media Prima for 30 years, so I just changed to another unit. So I feel that it is a new challenge for me, and I don't know. I just love my job so much that I feel that my job is my pride. Definitely my family is my priority. So I think maybe if I didn't submit my application, I might be an ordinary person. I work from 9 to 5. So is that
I work from 6 to 6.
yeah.
So the question is it bad to love your job too much?
Yes. It's bad to have that feeling. I mean, to
Commit to love, yes. Thank you.
There's nothing wrong. I love my job. I love my job so much as well. So much. Everything that I do, I love it. That keeps me going every single day. If you feel that way, it's fantastic. You're in the best position ever. So don't feel that like, is this normal? It is normal. We are lucky, and we should embrace it and just continue to have passion for your job. Yeah.
And then, apa lagi nak cakap?
No, I mean, I agree with Jia that go ahead, you love it so much. So, you know, anything that you do, you must have passion in you. So you still have that passion in you. It's just that you need to ask yourself, is it going to be there doing the same thing over and over again, or will it be something else? That is something that you need to answer yourself. Yeah, but another point also is actually if you love your job, you'll be able to, you know, when you're driving home or you'll be driven home, you will list down your achievement for the day. You know, so those are, you know, every day when you love your job, you just say, oh, not enough time. You know, I want to do more the next day. You know, with enthusiasm and things like that. That's on kata the check every day, or the temperature check every day.
That's it. It's really great. Any other questions? Oh, hi, Elina. Here you go.
Hello, Elida from FlyFam. I'd like to ask you a question. So you spoke about purpose, and so what were all your purpose to keep moving forward when you didn't believe in yourself and you just didn't think you're going to fail? What was the one thing that pushed you forward?
Is that Anisha first?
I always knew that I was meant to do bigger things in life. Okay? But then when you it's like, oh, taste this water, not nice, maybe this one nicer, right? It's just by noticing those things. And so every time there was a barrier, a barricade that stopped me from moving forward, I would literally say, I've tasted better than this, right? So why is this here? You analyze and then you say, okay, do I need to turn left? Do I need to turn right? What do I need to do? And that happened with me, right? I was here for 12 years. So comfortable, like her treasury story, exactly that, right? And then I realized, do I want to do this for another 12 years? No. Yeah, when you ask yourself those questions, you will have the answer. But you came and you interned here, right? You worked here, and then you left, and then you came back. Why? Right? When you ask yourself that question, you will have that answer. Yeah.
For me, there's one thing that keep me going in a lot of things that I do. The most important thing that I always tell myself, it's okay to fail, no matter what. Even within my team, I actually tell my team, it's okay to fail, it's okay to make mistake. It's fine, okay? We are not saving lives, okay? Yeah. Unless you're a doctor, okay? Then don't listen to this advice. But that's what I always keep me forward. That's the purpose. It's okay, try. You learn. You fail, you learn. You succeed, that's a game.
There's no wrong, right?
Yes, there's no right or wrong answer, and there's no one way to success.
Pranita?
For me, the purpose of me joining, agreeing to the president's offer to join back Group Treasury is to develop as many leaders as possible before I retire. So I will stay true to that purpose.
The purpose is not always about you, it's always about the team and who you can make a change in life. It's really good. Any other questions? Hi, Jen. Sorry, camera.
Hi, sorry, actually I have two questions. One is, it's a personal experience because I have been in different industry, different type of jobs. How do you keep yourself from burning out too soon? And another one is, how do you make a leap further if the job or the position is not offered to you? How do you have the confidence to grow?
Sorry, what's the second question?
Basically, growing into probably a different position or a higher position, how do you have the confidence to take that position without, if it's not being offered or, yeah.
The first question, for me, I have some me time. Life balance, work-life balance. Weekends, I look forward to weekends because I will go to the spa, do my nails, pedicure, manicure. Ladies, don't tell me you don't do manicure because those are actually quite therapeutic. Listen to the soft music, Muslim, listen to Al-Quran, those are that I can share with you. Go holidays, I look forward, Rafi knows. December is my holiday time because I want to come back in New Year full energy. So that has been my style. Number two, the question was?
If the position is not available.
Okay, I actually, at certain point in my journey, I chart my own journey in the organization. I feel that after the Treasury 12 years, after corporate finance, I know more or less how many times I can be exposed to another area. So I chart my own journey because you must know what you want. Your boss can help you, but you must know what you want. Yeah?
So for me, I always have time out for myself. Every year, it's very important to have time out. What do I mean by time out is that every year, I'll take a vacation, that vacation of 1 week. I don't do any work. I recalibrate myself. Because your break may be very short, let's say 3 days. 3 days is a bit too short, because 3 days you break, you still jump back to work very quickly. I have 7 days, no emails, it's all about me, and then a lot of questions will start popping up. Okay, I will start to recalibrate and things like that. It's very important for me to have that break, to make sure that I don't burn out, so that after the break, I come back, I know what I need to do next. So once a year, I do that for myself. The second question on creating the opportunity, how do you step up and things like that. I think it's very important, like for us, we need to also know that one day, okay, it's not always about going to the top. It's not about getting the next promotion, it's not about becoming the next CEO, okay? What is very important for me is that it's not about the next move. It's always about what's the next soft skill I need to develop, and how am I developing it, okay? I will never, maybe one day I'll be a CEO, maybe I won't. But along the way, what are the things that I need to do? I want to build certain soft skills. That's my priority, that's my North Star. Okay, and I'll find a lot of ways to build that skill. I will read books, I will have mentors, I will speak to people to build that skill that I have. So that's my North Star in terms of career. Career doesn't mean promotion, doesn't mean the title. Career sometimes is all about you yourself building the next skill sets that you want.
I think your first question, you just gotta set your boundaries. Like, it's the same approach for everybody. A break is a getaway, a holiday is a way to reset. right? Some people wait till December to do it. Some people do it once a week, one week a year. It's all a state of mind, you know. It really is. If every day you push yourself to the limit, how quick you want to push yourself to the limit, you may not even reach December, you know, and it may be too far a reach. So set short-term goals, right? Like the weekends, do something you like to do. But how I see it is, if you've burnt out, which means you've got nothing more to give, and that's sometimes not a tiring, not a physical thing. It's because you've exhausted the skill. So you can take it like, I need a break to reset, as in like go to the beach, or you can take it in a way of, I need to learn a new skill, right? And your second question, if you believe you want a job and it's not there for you, you ask for it one, you try, maybe that's the sign to move on, to do something else. Yeah, especially you said earlier that you come from different industries. That's your answer. Yeah.
Okay, I have some questions from Slido before we move on. This specifically for Jeremy. How do you keep your fire burning to do sales day in and day out?
Very good question. Sales is very, very fast paced, and it is every I have quarter target every single quarter. It gets reset all the time. It's a fire that it's very, very hard to continue on. But what I actually do is, I don't think that I'm doing sales. I never tell myself that I'm doing sales. I always tell myself, what is the soft skill I'm building in my career? That is what keeps me going. So for example, I'll give you a very specific example. When you do sales, you need to close a deal. You need to have great relationship with client. My North Star is not closing deal. My North Star is having a good relationship with my client, trying to give them the best solution that is needed. Even if it impacts my sales this quarter, it's okay. I always balance the long term. I'm in for the long term, and that keeps me going. Yeah.
Okay, Vanessa, you look young and healthy. Apa rahsia?
Tak ada rahsia.
Happiness.
I think it's mindset. Okay, kalau adalah katakan rahsia, I think it's actually kalau siapa yang mengandung, the pantang is actually quite important. You know, we are actually modern people. I didn't believe in pantang in the beginning, but my mom ensured that she was with me during the 3 birth or the confinement days. I was told not to nap daytime. I kata, why lah cannot nap? Then I realized later on, until today lah, oh, that's the benefit of that, not napping during confinement. Itu yang I rasa could be one of the, could be. But the rest is actually mindset. You know, I don't go to the gym every day, but do a bit of stretches once in a while. You know, be happy, be yourself. Go to the spa, go to the movies, watch, go to the concert. I went to Adelaide, Adele, Shah was with me. Adele concert at this age, why not? Yeah, Shah is actually a friend of my daughter. Yeah, so enjoy yourself, be yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Anusha, that's the question. Tell us 3 things you value from Primeworks.
Wow! First thing is friendships and relationships. Nothing like it. You know, the bond you build, I still take with me. Like I've left so many years and I still keep in touch with everybody, because first thing was we enjoyed what we did. You know, we really had fun doing stuff we did. I was very blessed to be in a team, be part of the team like that. That's definitely one thing. Second thing is I learned a lot in terms of a conglomerate, a structure, a system. And Primeworks Media Prima taught me that. And when I went out, somebody's trying to talk to me about contracts, don't BS. You know, it's true. I understand what it means. So now being a freelancer, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I can get by. So those things it taught me how to to participate in the non-conform life of freelancing, right? That's the second one. And I think the third one is, I don't know, I just, so many things I learned from it. The passion was being able to be nurtured, you know. People around me never told me I cannot do it. So it just, yeah, I think it's just nurtured my passion.
We have some questions on slide yang belum answer, which I will ask after this. If tak ada soalan lagi daripada floor. Is there any other questions? Yes, ada. Kalau tak ada, I baca the slide dulu. Okay, so last few questions. Thank you. Okay, yang dah ni. Okay. How do you convince a manager to hire you if you don't have experience for the job? So especially if you want a job or if you want to try something different, tapi you tak ada experience, tak pernah buat benda tu like you guys got through, right? So how do you convince someone to I'm that person? Besides being a doctor lah.
I've been in a situation like this. I just went in with a smile and said, I think you need to hire me because I'll get this done.
And then you work your way through after that.
That's a very, very good question because I interviewed for a job that I didn't get before, multiple times, right? Even though I think that I should get the job, I can do a lot for the job. The thing is, there's no one right way, okay? There's no one right way. You bring the best of yourself when you go for the interview, okay? It's a two-way conversation, and both of you will judge whether you'll be a good fit for the company. Just bring the best of yourself, okay? It's not about it's a must get hired. Okay, just bring your best, and hopefully the manager see a good fit in you in the wider team. That's the most important part.
I guess seasoned leaders will be able to sense that you were actually suitable or not suitable. But basically, leaders will look for people with the right attitude, a positive mindset. The know-how may come in later. But the most important thing orang tengok is actually your mindset. Yeah? We'll be able to know, we'll be able to gauge that this person is actually maybe talk a lot, maybe not have so much of me, kan? But the most important people will look is actually your attitude.
Betul? Okay, so this is about jobs again, jumping jobs. Do you compare jobs from one company to another company just the salary ke benefit juga? Does the benefit affect your decision? Or kalau dia punya salary high, okay, I'm gonna go. Tak kisah benefit macam mana.
I think it's both kot. Yeah, salary pun, benefits pun, especially medical. Medical is actually quite important. So, company that gives better medical coverage would be your preference lah. I would think it's a mix of both.
Okay, Jia?
For me, before I answer this question, it's all about asking what are you optimizing for in life, okay? Is salary what you're optimizing for, okay? Or experience, okay? To jump to another job, yes, you may get more salary, but in the long term, is that the destination you want to be? I think that's the most important question. Short term, you may get a salary bump, but where are you really, really heading? I think that's the question that you need to ask. Salary and benefits, to me, again, what are you optimizing for? Do you want a great insurance plan because that's something that you need to take care of? Or you want income now? Always ask what are you optimizing for and decide. And it's not just one thing. It may be salary, benefit, family, career, friends, everything. Have a holistic view before you decide on it.
Okay, so when it comes to negotiating salary ke position ke apa kan, how do you negotiate without becoming demanding or bossy? So you tak dapat lagi benda tu kan, so you nak negotiate. So how do you come up not macam I deserve this, I demand to be paid more than whatever I'm, yeah. So how do you go on? Especially this is your chance to talk to the HR person or even your boss.
So for me, I think it's not about what I want all the time. Okay, it's never about what I want. If I have a position in the HR, if I have a conversation with the HR, what I will actually ask for is data points. Data points of where am I paid right now, benchmark. Where, as Google as a whole, where are we? what kind of data points are you guys using? The peer sets, okay? Are you paying above market rate, lower? I will have all the data set that I have first. Analyze it before I make an ask. Always know what's happening currently before you make an ask. Hey, maybe I'm getting way more pay, right? Than a lot of people. I will change my strategy. Maybe then I'm being ungrateful, right? So I will calibrate first before I decide.
Puan Liza, kalau Iman nak ask this to Puan Liza, kan? So you're talking to your staff. So how would you expect, or what kind of advice can you give to them who want to come and talk to you? Puan Liza, I deserve a raise. So
Actually, this conversation happens twice a year in our organization. We have mid-year performance review, we have year-end performance review. Rafi dah senyum because it's due soon. But basically, you begin the year with a new individual performance contract. You have listed down your KPIs and whatnot. So you have agreed upfront what needs to be delivered for the year. Come half year, you'll be able to review where you are in terms of that contract that you actually agreed on part earlier of the year. You know more or less what's been delivered, as a staff. You know more or less at the end of the way you will be able to achieve the deliverables agreed upon. Then in Petronas, we actually performance based. So you'll be able to know whether you got a rating 3 or rating 2, how you're going to be compensated. It's a structured thing. So you can plan yourself better. So that's for the internal people. Another perspective, you're orang luar, masuk Petronas, HR has a benchmark. We are actually oil and gas, we benchmark ourselves on the oil and gas industry. The new entry level is actually what level. If you're coming with 5 years experience where you are, with what kind of experience you have, your qualification, it all comes into play. So it's quite structured. So you know more or less, you cannot be asking the moon when you know that you're only at this level. So yeah, that's how it is.
okay, last question. I'm in my current job for less than a year, but I don't find the purpose in this job that I'm in. Is it too soon for me to say that?
Yes. I mean, I think you got to give everything a chance. And Malcolm Gladwell said this in the book Blink. If you want to be good at anything, great at anything, you have to do at least 10,000 hours. So if you think you did 10,000 hours in that 1.5 years, then you think, oh, done, move on. But if it takes you 10 years to get to 10,000 hours, then it probably will take you 10 years to get to where you need to be, And you have to give it a chance. I know a lot of people have this preconception of millennials. Technically, I am a millennial as well, but I think I'm a hybrid of the millennial, because I still know how to use the pencil and the paper and the eraser, and the phone that goes this way, But it's one thing, hard work. It's another thing, work smart. In anything that we do, I believe we have to apply both. Work hard and smart, right? And if you believe and you think that you've exhausted every option and you cannot learn anymore, then it's time to move on. But millennials have the tendency of jumping quick, right? And nothing wrong with that, because I think the priority is life and the well-being of life, right? But look at Puan Liza, 31 years in Petronas, right? A mother of 3 and 3 grandchildren. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know what your marital status is, but, But does she look unhappy? No. So it really depends on how much you want to invest. What you put in is what comes out, yeah? So if you put a year and a half in, a year and a half is also going to come out. And maybe a year and a half's worth of salary is also going to come out. Yeah, so you got to think about that. Yeah, apply the 10,000 hours, it works, trust me.
Jill, is it too soon?
There's no one answer to it, I would say. There's no right or wrong. 1 year, when you have this question, I will ask you to ask more questions, okay, about yourself. What is causing you to feel that? Okay, is there an external factor? Is it your job? Okay, are you not giving enough opportunity? Okay, is it that you don't like working with your colleagues? Is it your manager? Is it the industry? Is it what, you need to find out what. I will ask the person more questions. Tell me more, okay? And it's good that you have this question because it means that you're also very self-aware. But I will encourage the person to prompt a bit more, okay? And then only decide. One very good way is speak to people. Speak to people, not just your friends, okay, but speak to senior leaders as well. Okay, senior leaders that can guide you. Speak to more people and then take time to calibrate before you make the decision.
I agree with them. There's no right answer to this. But for us in Petronas, if you are a high performer, you're rating 2, for 3 years, 2 years, you can be given exposure a lot faster. Yeah. So again, but it depends on opportunity too. So yeah, that's how I'm going to answer this question.
So you're saying your effort first lah before you start questioning the question, is it?
Well, we have we look at top performers, and these people will be given first preference lah to be given exposure. But you need to ask yourself whether are you in that category or not. If you're not in that category, then you have to ask yourself, what is it that you want actually? You must know what you want. That's anchor. That's a must. Otherwise, you'll be jumping things, and you must have end in mind. So what's your end in mind sebenarnya?
So banyak question you have to ask. Get one answer.
Yeah, you have to
Ask and ask.
probe more. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're good now. We're on time. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. I hope we answered all of your questions. Whatever that you do, and if you need to talk more, I suggest talk to your peers, talk to your managers, talk to your bosses, whoever, because we are all in this together. And yang paling penting is hit target lah, betul tak? Betul, because that is the purpose of us working, kan? Thank you so much, guys. See you next time. Korang macam nak tangkap gambar boleh? Tangkap gambar. Let's take a selfie.